country to straight up tell you all a story that didn't even exist. If I want to own a damn rocket launcher to overtake the tyrant government, that's my business. If I want to own a bazooka because I feel that the government is out of control and we now need to go up against them, that is my right. It is never
said I oppose fracking. Show the tape. Put it on your website. Put it on the website.
Live from Clark Studios in Rochester, New York. Broadcasting around the world. You're listening to You Made It Political, where the voice of the keyboard warrior is finally heard and the arguments presented are put to the political test. And now, here's your host, Matt Clark.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday Fun Day. Actually, there's not really anything ever fun about Monday. I mean, seriously, who enjoys actually going back to work? It's a horrible day of the week, and everybody is just so miserable and pissed off. But actually, these days, who is actually going to work? I mean, does anybody actually go into the office anymore? I feel like everybody's at home hanging out, not really doing much because coronavirus has gone on for a freaking year now. It's the year anniversary of curbing the pandemic over 2 weeks. Do you guys remember that? 2 weeks or 1 year ago, it was 2 weeks to curb the pandemic. Well, here we are a freaking year later, and it's now still locked down, masked up, get the injection, or we take away your life. That's what's happened. So nobody's really going to work. Monday doesn't even matter anymore. Today we got a great show for you guys. We're going to be talking cancel the mask, take the goddamn thing off. We're done. We are done in upstate New York. For those of you who don't know, I read your comments now right here on Facebook Live. So make sure you comment, make sure you tune in, and I'm going to read your comments live on the show. Today we start the show with a new group that I started. It's actually called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. It's something that I decided to start today, and I'm going to get into that. We're also just going to discuss some crazy ass right-wing logic news, as well as the liberal left insanity headlines that have come up, and we're going to scrutinize it, we're going to analyze it, and of course on the show we're going to call out the hypocrisy, and we're going to absolutely destroy it. But first, let's get into the new group that I called or created today, called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. So for those of you who weren't tuning into my private news feed today, I kind of woke up this morning and I started trolling the internet, as I do every single day. I mean, for those of you who don't know me, you don't know this, but every day I wake up and I just kind of mess with the internet a little bit. I troll the left. I go onto CNN. I see what can I do to piss off people today, because I'm so sick of the lies. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the hypocrisy. I'm just sick of it all. I'm sick of the mask wearing, and it's just so unnecessary. So this morning, I actually went on my news feed, and I decided to ask the question. I decided to ask everybody what they thought about the masks, because I'm like, I can't be the only one who's done and sick of this shit. All right. So I wrote this morning, I think we need to start canceling every local business who requires a mask or vaccination. You know, seeing how canceling everything is in. I mean, look at the woke mob, the liberal left. They want to cancel us because we won't wear a mask. They want to cancel us because I don't really want to take the vaccine. It's like you can't do anything in life anymore unless you're masked up or vaccinated. The whole thing is total BS. So I was like, wait a second. Screw this. I'm going to start canceling businesses. I'm going to use my platform to get my voice out there. And I'm going to say, no, enough of this shit. I'm going to start canceling you. I don't want to wear the mask anymore. I'm done. How many of you guys are sick of wearing the mask? How many of you have not been wearing the mask? And if you haven't, I applaud you. You're a lot more courageous than I am, because I at least tried to play the game for a little bit. And I wish I didn't. Because all it did was fuel the liberal left to further impose their draconian guidelines on us. That's all it's done. They wanted an inch, or we wanted to kind of let them get away with an inch. Well, they took a mile. And that's all they've been doing from here on out. So this morning I said, I had enough. I'm done. I think we need to start canceling every local business who requires a mask or vaccination. Let's do that. Let the cancel wars begin. And I knew this was going to be a problem. As soon as the woke mob started canceling us, as soon as they started canceling Trump and every other conservative voice on the internet, I knew it was just a matter of time before we said, you know what, we've had enough. We're going to start canceling businesses. So I went online and I said, hey, what do you guys think about this? Well, clearly there's a ton of support. Ton of support. It's time to start canceling back. Okay, I've had enough. So I went online and I started this group called, and if you haven't joined it, guys, join the group. You can find it on Facebook. Just go onto my profile if you need help. And it's called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. And it's all about canceling your business if you continue to give the anti-maskers and the anti-vaxxers shit. Okay, you continue to give them hell. I'm going to continue to raise my voice, to use my platform to cancel your business in return. Because essentially what you're doing is you're giving in to the tyranny. You're allowing deep blue states like New York, California, and every other liberal insanity continue. Okay? Because we don't want to have to abide by these draconian measures anymore. We're done. We're done. So you want to kick people out of your store and shame them for not getting vaccinated or wearing a Feist diaper? Canceled. That's it. We're canceling you. So I set up this group this morning online called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. Okay? And it's all about businesses who give you hell for demanding that you wear a face mask. Okay? It's about listing and calling out the tyrannical businesses. Yeah. I want the world to know who's violating our freedom of speech. I want the world to know who is refusing service or business to those who are scared of getting the vaccine. It's not right. It's total and utter BS. It's just so unacceptable. It's unnecessary. So anyway, I created a Facebook group. It's called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. Guys, be sure to join it. Check it out. We're going to start listing all the businesses who are just being obnoxious about the whole mask thing. And I also want to applaud and reward those businesses who are defending our freedoms, who are saying, you know what, you're welcome to come in. I'm not going to impose this ridiculous mask nonsense on you. Businesses are so out of control, okay? This is disgusting, but businesses are so out of control right now that I actually, in the group already, and you guys are going to freak out when you see some of this stuff, but in the group, there's this one business who actually started taking reservations for Easter Sunday, but only for those who have been vaccinated. That's right. Only those who've been vaccinated. They got so much hell over this. They got so much flack that they actually took down the whole event because they were going online and they were saying you're only allowed to come eat for Easter Sunday. You're only allowed to make a reservation if you've been vaccinated. And you need to show us your vaccination ID card. I mean, is this the direction the world's headed right now? Is this the freaking insanity that we've all subscribed and are going to bend over to? Because it's outrageous. So anyway, people went online and they gave them so much shit that they have now taken down the event. And good, rightly so. So this is what we're doing as part of this group. We're calling out the businesses, okay? We're calling out the businesses who are mask shaming, who are anti-vax shaming us because we feel that our human rights are a little bit more important than the left's narrative. And any business who has a problem with me or my friends or my family not wanting to wear a mask anymore, well, guess what? We're coming after you, and we're going to start canceling you now. Because I'm standing up and speaking for everybody who has a medical condition and cannot wear a mask. Like this lady in California who had enough, and she put her foot down and she said, you know what? Screw you all. I'm done. And she totally lost her shit in California. Let's have a look.
This morning, face mask controversy after this outburst caught on camera in a Los Angeles grocery store.
So anyone harassing me to wear a mask, you guys are violating federal law. You get that? Get that on camera, ma'am.
This Trader Joe's shopper confronted for not wearing a mask in the store. She claims she has a medical reason not to.
I have a breathing problem. My doctor would not let me wear a mask.
The shopper telling ABC station KABC that she had gotten permission from the manager at the Toluca Lake store to go maskless, but accidentally went to the wrong location in North Hollywood, where she said she also got permission, and claims the incident began while she was shopping.
Right away, he started using obscenities at me, and I did what any normal human being, a woman, would do if she was being harassed by a man, not knowing if he's a crazy man. So I start yelling in self-defense.
Earlier this month, California governor.
So listen, I mean, this is insane, and this is what I think more people need to stick up to. The fact that, listen, I don't need to answer or justify to you why I'm not wearing a mask anymore. That's none of your business. And for those of you who think I'm selfish, or anybody else in New York State selfish, let me remind you the actual mandate in New York State, okay? In New York State, I am supposed to wear a mask only if, one, I don't have a medical condition, and two, if I'm unable to maintain 6 feet distance. So if I'm able to maintain a 6 foot distance in Wegmans or Walmart or Target, I don't need to wear that stupid mask. I think I'm going to actually walk around. This is what I was thinking, just to prove a point. And I'm going to take a video of it. And I'm going to post it for everybody to see. It'll go viral because this is what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to actually put like a stick, like a 3 foot stick on either side of me. So I've got 6 foot radius. And I'm not going to wear my mask. And I'm going to walk through the store with this 6 foot pole attached to my body. I'm going to say, I don't need to wear a mask. And I'm going to kind of rotate. And if my stick hits you, well, then you're violating my space. Right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear a 6 foot pole and I'm going to walk around and I'm not going to wear a mask because the New York State mandate says very clearly, which a lot of businesses have failed to tell you, they have made it a requirement that you only mask up when you can't maintain 6 foot distance. That's the situation. So you're not violating any laws or any mandates. If you're able to, within a business, if you're able to maintain a 6 foot distance from the person next to you, if you're able to maintain distance, you do not need to wear the mask. It's always been either or, not both. A lot of people don't know that. Look it up. New York State mandate, mask mandate, and you'll see very clearly. I also want to show you guys a video. This is hilarious. This is basically what the world has come to as far as mask wearing is concerned. This is freaking great. I love these guys.
Shoot. What's up, man? Oh, hi there. Why'd you walk around me, dude? Oh, it's just you're not wearing a mask, so I didn't want to risk my life. Oh, are you facial profiling me right now? No, it's just I care about humanity, and you obviously don't care if people die, so. Wow, I didn't know sheep could speak English. Sheep? That's you. You're a sheep. Do you even watch the news 24 hours a day? I don't believe in news. You're literally killing someone every time you breathe. Hey, I'm not gonna wear a face diaper, okay? Hey, are you mask shaming me? I'm just saying, if you wear a mask, you're a communist. Well, anyone who doesn't wear a mask is a racist.
What?
I believe in science, okay? You probably never wear condoms either. You're probably wearing a condom right now. Actually, I'm wearing 2 right now, but I do that anyways. You're wearing a mask outside, didn't know you hate America. Well, you probably have less than an hour to live, so I hope you enjoy it. I will enjoy it. Government can't tell me what to do. Jesus. Who are you voting for this year? Alyssa Milano? Yeah, who are you voting for? Thanos? Actually, Thanos made some pretty good points. But you probably didn't understand him because people who wear masks have less brain cells. That's a scientific fact. My doctor told me. Oh yeah? Who's your doctor? Dr. Strange? Oh, you're an idiot. Yeah? Hey! Uh-oh. Oh, is he coming too close? Stay back! 6 feet of distance! That is attempted murder! Coughs travel 5,000 miles per hour! I'm not even coughing towards you. Stop doing that! Hey! Stop it! Stop. Yo, guys, stop arguing, dude. You guys are acting like a bunch of murder hornets right now, man. If you want to wear a mask, that's your right. But don't shame someone for not wearing a mask when it is not a required mandate. And you, respect his decision to wear a mask in public and continue practicing the safe social distancing guidelines implemented by your community leaders. There's a peaceful middle ground where we can all coexist to help create a community that's full of peace and health.
World peace is possible.
Let's just get along. Go back to your yurt, you hippie. Yeah, go back to Narnia, you weirdo. Oh, I gotta go. The Masked Singer's almost on. Oh, I love The Masked Singer. You like The Masked Singer? Yeah, my favorite part is when they take off the masks. I'll see you around, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you around.
Basically just sums up the whole thing about the anti-masker versus the masker. I mean, listen, what are we doing? Why are we all giving each other so much hell over something so stupid? It's just gone way overboard right now, and I think it's laughable how many people who are so deathly afraid of being within even 20 feet of somebody without a mask. I mean, guys, this isn't the bubonic plague, all right? It's not like people are dropping dead left, right, and center around you. I just wish some of these people would actually see how ridiculous they look and how terrified they, you know, actually are in front of the rest of the world. It's just, it's almost like an illness. So I do think we need to start canceling every single business who requires a mask or a vaccination. All right. You know, seeing how cancel culture is in right now. What do you guys think? You guys think it's time to start canceling a few businesses ourselves? I think so. So go to the group, sign up. It's called Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You. It's great. We're going to support businesses who actually support freedom. That's where I'm giving my money to. All right. I think it's disgusting how awful a lot of these businesses have acted towards people. I think it's disgusting how their customers who have acted towards people, the pro-mask businesses, I think it's outrageous, and I think it needs to stop. And where's HIPAA? Where's HIPAA throughout this whole thing? Where's the civil rights unions? Where are the anti-discriminatory unions that are supposed to be out there helping our cause? I mean, where are they? Where the hell's HIPAA? This travel pass thing now that I hear about, this vaccination travel pass that you're going to need, that's illegal. You can't demand that people show your medical records before boarding a plane. It's against HIPAA guidelines. Where are they? Where's anybody? It's all out of control. So join the group, guys. Join the group and stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to be back with right-wing logic. A lot of cool, interesting news stories throughout the world today, plus something insane that I just learned about Officer Sicknick. Do you guys remember Officer Sicknick? The guy who was beaten to death with a fire extinguisher? Well, guess what? They still haven't caught the guys. They still haven't caught the video. There's no proof of it, but they finally have come out and found something that's going to blow your mind. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to You Made It Political, where the voice of the keyboard warrior is finally heard, and the arguments presented are put to the political test. And now, here's your host, Matt Clark.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I love it. Stacy, I have not except one. No vaccine shot for me. Thanks for leaving your comments, guys. I am reading them live on the show. We spent the first segment discussing Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You, a new group that I started. Thank you for leaving your comments. I love it. Stacy Cornell, let the cancellation begin. That's exactly what's going to start happening. Hey, the woke mob, the left, they wanted this, so they're the ones who are going to be responsible for the cancel wars, which I'm going to be a big voice of. And you better believe businesses that continue to impede on my freedoms are getting canceled. I'm not giving you my money anymore. Let's head over to the Keyboard Warrior camp for the next segment of the show. Today, we discuss right-wing logic over on Fox News. So a lot going on in the wonderful world of politics today. President Joe Biden. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so sick of listening to this guy. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again with Sleepy Joe. When he does leave his basement, all he does is talk to a teleprompter. And you're going to see in this video, his eyes are so bad, he doesn't even know what he's saying. Let's listen to Sleepy Joe. Sleepy just gave remarks a little bit ago, and what does he have to say now? I mean, what does Joe ever talk about? Let's take a look.
100 million checks in people's pockets in the next 100 days. Shots in arms and money in pockets. That's important. The American Rescue Plan is already doing what it was designed to do, make a difference in people's everyday lives.
So just real quick before we go on any further, I mean, do you guys notice that all Joe Biden talks about, all he talks about is checks in people's hands and shots in people's arms? I mean, that's all Joe ever talks about. Could we talk about the border crisis? Could we talk about the fact that the economy's still not open because they don't want to lift the lockdowns? Could we talk about Governor Cuomo's tens of thousands of nursing home deaths? Could we talk about Cuomo's sexual harassment cases? Could we talk about anything meaningful? No. All Joe ever wants to talk about is let's give people more socialist crack money and let's get more shots in arms. A third of the country doesn't even want. I mean, a third of the country does not want the vaccination, Joe. Could we shut up talking about it? Like, stop. All the speech that he gave the other night, it was just an info commercial for the vaccine companies.
We're just getting started. By the time all the money is distributed, 85% of American households will have gotten a $1,400 rescue checks. To give one more example, for the average family of two parents and two children making a combined income of $110,000 a year, that's going to add $5,600 for them.
So Joe's now doing math for us. I mean, this is his whole speech. 1,400 times 3 is 5,600 or whatever it is. I don't know. I can't do math on the fly. I need a calculator. I'm not as smart as you guys. But Joe Biden goes on camera and all he does is math and tells us how much money we're going to get. It's like, this can't be America's biggest problem. What about what's going on in Syria? What about the fact that we just dropped bombs and took out towns in Syria? How about the fact that we're back in war again after 4 years of not being in a single war under President Trump? America's back at war. We don't want to talk about that. This garbage that we're watching here, brought to you by the left and the Democrats, is a distraction to take away from what's really going on in America. And they continue to do that. It's like every time shit gets real overseas, every time we decided to bomb more countries, wait, hold on, Joe, let's talk about the vaccination. Every time the nursing home scandal gets too big and Cuomo starts to really get in real jeopardy of bringing down the entire Democratic Party, it's like, Joe, quick, give him a check. Give him a check to shut up. It's like giving heroin to a heroin addict to constantly keep them suppressed so they're never going to do anything meaningful with their life. That's what they're doing. Throwing us more socialist crack money to distract us from the real picture.
$5,600 they'll get. And the plan does a lot more. It extends unemployment insurance for the 11 million Americans unemployed and any who will be unemployed in the near term. It'll help hundreds of thousands of small businesses keep their doors open, which makes a gigantic difference.
Which is a lie, a total lie. This check is not going to keep businesses open. It's going to do everything from but that. Everything but that. This check is going to do, all this check is going to do is actually encourage America to stay closed. That's all it's going to do. What we should be doing to keep businesses open is to let them operate in a free market. So his whole thing, we're giving more PPP to help businesses stay open, is bullshit. All it's doing is delaying the inevitable, the biggest market recession you're ever going to see in your lifetime. I'm calling it right now. It's getting bad, people. It's getting really bad. And if we don't get this economy open, these checks are going to be the least of our problems.
If you have a drugstore, if you have a beauty shop, a hardware store, it's the center of small communities. And it gets our schools and resources they need to open safely. It provides the biggest investment in child care since World War II.
See, again, more lies by Joe. And I know these are lies because if you guys have been paying attention to the Chicago Union, the Chicago Teachers Union bled that city dry. They destroyed that city financially. The unions demanded more money to open the schools because they needed that money for infrastructure to make the schools safe, better ventilation system. Chicago gave the unions $100 million. And once they took that money, they still didn't open. Oh, nope. Sorry. Teachers are still scared. 6 feet. We don't want too many kids. We can't maintain the 6-foot rule. So we still don't want to open. Still, we don't want to go back to in-person learning. So the Chicago unions bled the city of Chicago dry, rinsed them financially, and still didn't open. So when Joe says we're going to give all this money, we're going to get all this money that we're giving out is going to help schools open, it's not going to help schools open because the teachers and the unions are still going to cry because of the 6-foot distancing rule. Nothing's going to change until we get rid of that 6-foot distancing rule. That's what we need to do. Then all the kids, all grades can be back. So just more lies by Joe.
And it provides food and nutrition help for the millions of families. Keep them from going hungry, keeping a roof over their heads. And it expands health care coverage and lowers health care costs for so many people. And it will cut child poverty in half in this country.
How is a stimulus check going to cut child poverty in half? How stupid do the Democrats think we are? How is a single check, how is a little bit of a domestic financial aid going to cut poverty in half? Maybe for 5 seconds. This economy cannot grow on socialist crack money. This is doing nobody any favors, people. I'm telling you right now. The Democrats are out for a socialist agenda, and they keep making that very apparent and very clear. And I've spoke about it a million times because the writing's been on the wall for 6 to 8 months now. He doesn't even hide the fact that we're going down a socialist route. Here's more money. Here's money so you guys don't care about going back to work. The other day, he released a meme that I posted on my Facebook page, and it said something along the lines of, or he didn't post a meme, but he said something that Fox News then posted a quote meme over. And it said, the new America is going to be building from the ground up in the middle out. Joe, that's socialism. You just described the very definition of socialism, where we build up and then out and every American's going to succeed equally. No, in a free market, that's not what happens. So if you're telling me that that's the New Deal, then I have to believe that we're not in a free market anymore. And that means that everybody's income is going to get slashed, including yours. eventually. You guys watch. It's going to get slashed. And taxes are going to go up. I've lived in socialist/capitalist country. I lived in the UK for 5 years. I saw very, very clearly what happens. I've seen what happened in Spain, Portugal, Germany. Germany not so much because they stood their ground. But you better believe Spain and Portugal got riddled with socialism. So anyway, Joe Biden continues to give BS speeches. He talks about how a stimulus check is going to change the world, and it's not. It's not going to do anything of the sort. Let's head over to House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and hear what he has to say down at the border. These are real crises. This is really what we need to pay attention to. The crisis at the southern border. So Kevin McCarthy, he flies down to Mexico, the southern or the U.S.-Mexico border, because Biden and the administration will not admit there's a crisis. Let's hear what Kevin McCarthy has to say. Finally, we get to hear the truth from some right-wing politicians.
Talked to a family from Honduras, asked how long they've been traveling, 22 days. Just in coincidence of the actions taken by President Biden of why people think they could come here and break the law. We went through a new facility that was built just more than a year ago. They built it with a capacity they thought they could never meet, 1,040 people to be processed. Today broke that record. Today they're beyond capacity.
So now we can't even house enough illegal immigrants because we are so overrun down at the border. And the Biden administration refuses to admit there's a border crisis. So they built this to 1,400 people, and they can't even keep up now.
Children, they're unaccompanied that's sitting in there. There's 120 border agents that are now inside that unit that are not on the border protecting us when a surge is coming. As we went up to Monument 3, speaking to the men and women on the front lines, they catch from 100 to 200 people a night.
So anyway, there's a huge crisis. Kevin McCarthy had to fly down to the border. They're catching 200 people a night, illegal border crossings. You guys, if you don't know this, border crossings are actually up 5 times than what they were during the Biden or the Obama administration. During the Obama administration, we had 1,000 illegal crossings a day at the height of its crisis. 1,000. Okay? We now have close to 5,000. Biden still refuses to admit there's a crisis. So we are 5 times the crisis limit from the Obama era. Obama himself called it a crisis at 1,000 illegal border crossings a day. So, Joe, what do you call 5,000 illegal border crossings per day? Because if it was a crisis at 1,000, that it's a freaking catastrophic, monumental disaster at 5,000. But Biden doesn't want to talk about that. He just wants to talk about the check he just gave everybody. And he wants to talk about the 100 million shots in arms that no one really gives a shit about. And he wants to talk about masking up for the next 100 days. Joe, we've been masked up for the last year. This is the year anniversary, by the way, of curbing the pandemic for 2 weeks. Do you guys remember that? 2 weeks to curb the pandemic a year ago. Tell me your comments, guys. I'm watching the comments come in. I want to know what you all think. I'm going to read them aloud. Comment on this, please. Let me know. Throw this whole live a like. Let your friends know, because we reveal the truth. We call out the hypocrisy, and we expose the sneaky liberals for the corruption and the snakes that they really are over in Washington. Nancy Pelosi, by the way, why did Kevin McCarthy feel the need to go down to the border? Because Pelosi's running her mouth once again, saying they're cleaning up the disaster Trump caused. It's like, what? Pelosi has the audacity to say that this whole mess is because of Trump. Man, are they obsessed with Trump. I mean, every time you turn your head, it's like another, well, Trump did it, Trump caused it. It's like, hold on, enough, guys. Trump's gone. Forget Trump. What are you going to do about it? Well, we don't really know because all we want to talk about is what Trump did, but we don't want to talk about how we're going to fix it. Yeah, you're not fixing anything. You're actually making things a lot worse. That's what's going on. But the article that takes the cake today, okay? This blew my mind. Do you guys remember Officer Sicknick? Do you remember Officer Sicknick? Okay. The man, the police officer, the Capitol Hill police officer who was beat to death by a fire extinguisher. Do you remember that? Do you remember that story? Remember, he was beat to death by a fire extinguisher. The New York Times reported it. The rest of mainstream media ran with it. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Where's the video? I mean, the whole country was like, oh my God, I can't believe the Trumpers beat him over the head with a fire extinguisher. It's just so wrong. And I'm like, hold on, guys, chill out for just a second. Has anybody seen the video? I'm not undermining his death by any means. I mean, I'm a big advocate of back the blue. Whoever caused his death needs to go to prison. But here's the thing. Nobody has been charged with beating him over the head with a fire extinguisher. You mean to tell me that out of thousands of cell phone cameras that nobody has actually caught a video or had a video of the moment where the fire extinguisher struck him? We have video surveillance of Ashley Babbitt being shot to death. Yet we don't have a video of Officer Sicknick being bludgeoned with a fire extinguisher. You know why? Because it never freaking happened. It never happened. He died of a stroke later that afternoon, or even the next day. I can't remember. He died of a stroke. But here now, all of a sudden, okay, what are they? They've caught two men who are now charged. Oh, we've caught some men. You caught them beating him over the head with a fire extinguisher? No, we caught them assaulting Capitol Hill police officer Sicknick with chemical spray. That's what they caught him with. I'm like, hold on a second. Where's the fire extinguisher that everybody kept talking about? So Fox News is reporting that Officer Sicknick was now assaulted with chemical spray. And you know what the messed up thing is? Let's head over to CNN and compare stories. This is how outrageous the left are. You know, it's funny because everyone keeps accusing the right or the right Republicans of lying and spreading misinformation. But here's how ridiculous the left are. The party that really spreads lies. Let's take a look at it. Let's bump over to CNN. So here we are, CNN. Same story. Look at two men arrested for assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. They've conveniently left out the how. Where's with chemical spray? So now if you were watching CNN, you would have thought, oh, great, they caught the two men who beat him to death with a fire extinguisher. No. CNN failed to leave out what they were charged with. So who lies now? Who spreads misinformation now? Because Fox came out and very clearly reported, if we go back to Fox, here's the Fox article, the two men were charged with assaulting Capitol Police Officer Sicknick with chemical spray. CNN conveniently leaves that part out. So I'm so sick of everybody blaming the right for misinformation, when in fact, it's the liberal left-wing media that constantly leave out the truth. And listen, you don't even need to take my word for it. You guys saw the Trump trial, right? The impeachment trial. Did you guys see all that when the left were presenting their case and they were showing all the violence and they were putting on some big stupid circus show, and they showed everything except for the part where Trump said, go to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically. They left that part out. They just straight up omitted it. So they used Hollywood to create this ridiculously inaccurate perception of what really happened. And the media left out the most important part of it. So the left do lie. The moral of the story is the left lies. They always lie. They leave out the most important information. They've done it again. Officer Sicknick was assaulted with chemical spray, not a fire extinguisher. The New York Times then went back and they retracted the story. They retracted the story, but I didn't see CNN come out with an apology. I didn't see mainstream media or MSNBC or the New York Times come out and say, hey, listen, we're really sorry for getting the entire world wound up. That's what they do. They get the world wound up. That's why I call the logical right and the liberal left insanity, because they constantly throw misinformation in our face and then they blame us for doing it. The whole thing, and you got to be very careful. Like, they need people like me calling them out. They need right-wing conservative shows calling them out, because somebody's got to do it. Because if you let these guys go too loose, eventually they're going to have the entire country believing every misinformed news story that they put out. So they got busted again. Sicknick was assaulted with chemical spray. CNN leaves that part out to get their viewers to think they finally caught the guys for beating him over the head with a fire extinguisher, which again didn't happen. Let's see what the keyboard warriors have to say about this. Let's see if the American people actually caught on to the fact that Sicknick was not beat to death with a fire extinguisher. Guys, remember, I'm also looking at your comments here, so please comment away. Let me know. I've got your comments pulled up right here. We're going to discuss them as they come in. Don't be afraid. Hit the like button as well. If you guys are enjoying this live, share it with your friends. Let the world know you made it political. We're live every day, 3 o'clock, Facebook, YouTube. We stream daily. Lynette says... Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got a liberal comment. We got a liberal comment on the show. Lynette says Trump must be punished too, as Trump incited the horror of terrorism on the Capitol, which killed 5 innocent people. See, guys, listen. This is where they lie. 5 people were not killed. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Everybody else, like one guy shot himself at his home. They've included him in the 5. Officer Sicknick died of a stroke the next day. He's included in the 5. So there weren't 5 people. The other 2 were people who died of like dehydration or overexertion or overexhaustion. They were part of the protesters who died. But everybody wants to keep talking about the 5 people who died at the Capitol because of the riots and the attacks. Well, no, that's not what happened at all. Like, 1 person died, Ashley Babbitt. 1. Like, it's not even like we exaggerated from 1 to 2. We went from 1 to 15 or 1 to 5. So we lied 5 times the amount of the truth. I'm not surprised. So no, 5 people weren't killed, but she goes on to say... Anyway, blah, 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 blah. I don't even want to read it. It's the same BS that I've read to you guys a million times. Trump's not guilty. He didn't incite the violence. He said, go march peacefully and patriotically. The end. Case closed. Anyway, next. Ronnie says, show us the video. Prove what you're saying. Good comment, Ronnie. The public's trust is not on your side because we all know how scheming and dishonest Pelosi and her playwriter, Adam Schiff, are. That's exactly the deal. We didn't... Remember, this is how bad things are getting. The Democrats and the left-wing media, they push out these stories. They push out these stories, and then when they push out the stories, they... don't back it up with video. And they do this all the time. They don't back it up with video. They just expect everybody to just believe you. They expect everyone to believe them. And they don't back it up with video. So Ronnie's right. Show us the video. Prove what you're saying. Well, there is no video, probably. There's no video. The left are clutching at straws once again. That's what they do. So Kevin says they are now trying to say he was in the area where Trump supporters sprayed pepper spray, and this is the assault charge against these 2 men. The coroner's report showed no signs of any kind of physical assault or blunt trauma to his head. The coroner even came out and said, no signs of blunt force or trauma. Guys, CNN, the New York Times, they need to be held accountable here. They need to be sued for loss of damages caused by further riots. Maybe from Democrats who were furious because they believed a story told by the left that wasn't true. We need to start holding the media agencies accountable. When do we start the class action lawsuits against them for destroying America? Because that's what they've done. And they get busted all the freaking time. Every time I look at CNN, they're telling another dishonest news story. They just lie. They lie. They straight up lie. There are no signs of any kind of physical assault or blunt trauma to his head. The left needs this to stick so bad to move their agenda forward against pro-America First conservatives now being labeled domestic terrorists. Wake up, folks. It's a communist takeover. It is a communist takeover. I'm not even exaggerating anymore. This whole thing is communism, socialism now. We're already at socialism. Okay? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. We're at socialism. On our way to communism. My wife is actually from Shanghai. I met her in Shanghai. I lived in Shanghai for 10 years. Okay? So I lived in Shanghai for 10 years. I saw communism. I lived amongst it. Beautiful country, beautiful people. I don't care what anybody says. The Chinese people they're beautiful. They're lovely, wonderful people. It's the government that has a problem. It's the government that have a boatload of shit to talk about when it comes to how ruthless and inhumane they are to their people. But the Chinese people in general, beautiful people. So I know communism. I've seen it. My wife actually, she tries to stay out of politics. She wants nothing to do with politics because I run my mouth enough for the whole family. But my wife one day, she posted, she said, Matt, I can't believe it. America is starting to look a lot like China. And I said, I know. And I've been trying to tell everybody that for a year now since these goddamn lockdowns. And nobody will believe me. I said, the lockdowns are a sign that communism is coming. Everybody's like, oh, you're over exaggerating. Put the mask on for me, blah, 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 my freedom and whatever. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that it's coming, people. Socialism's here. Communism's next. If you guys aren't careful, it's going to be here a lot quicker than you think, which is why I started the group today. Cancel the mask or I cancel you. Businesses, by making us mask up, demanding that we're vaccinated, they are supporting the Democratic Communist agenda. And I am no longer going to support these businesses anymore. And if you guys have a horrible story that you want to tell, if you want to let the word out, if you want to talk about your awful experiences while trying to defend your freedom of speech, go to this group and voice your disgust, because we're going to stop giving them our money. And I want every business out there who doesn't defend our freedom to be canceled. That's what we're doing. The left want to cancel us. We're going to start canceling back. We're going to hit businesses. We're going to hit their cash flow. And if they don't start playing ball and fighting back with us, well, then I'm not going to feel bad if they close in the future, because they deserve it. They asked for it. So join the group, Cancel the Mask or I Cancel You, where we destroy businesses who are going to hold us to these ridiculous mask mandates. And before you guys think, and any of you think I'm a monster for doing this, let me remind you, and this is something that you can remind these businesses. The New York State mandate says you either wear a mask or you social distance. Okay? Not both. Not both. These businesses have took it upon themselves to go one step further and go above the mandate and said, I don't really care what the mandate is. I want you wearing a mask and social distancing. Well, if they've got their plexiglass up and we're 6 feet apart, according to the New York State mandate, I do not need to wear a mask. So let's start reminding them that. And if they still give you hell, well, call them out in the group. Fine. We don't have to support them anymore. Because there are a lot of businesses out there that don't make you wear the mask. They don't care. Wegmans is one of them. I love Wegmans. I'm going to give him a shout out on the show. Wegmans has actually been really, really good to its people. Their customers, however, are a freaking liberal nightmare. They're the mask Nazis you got to be worried about. Target's been great. Walmart, got to wear a mask. Forget Walmart. Target's been great, at least in my neck of the woods here in upstate New York. I don't know about your own Targets. But guys, please, join the group. Let us know who we need to support. What conservative businesses do we need to support? What businesses that stick up for our rights, for our freedoms, do we need to support? It's been 1 year now. It's been 1 year. Enough is enough. Listen, I played the mask game for a year. I put on my mask for you. Now I'm going to ask that you stop giving me shit for wanting to get back to my freedom. Okay? You're going to now do that for me. I put the mask on for you. It's now your turn to start allowing me to go about my life again the way that I see fit, because that is my God-given right as an American citizen. So I'm going to challenge all of you mask wearers out there to now just let it go. Okay? Let it go. Your vaccination's on the way. You probably got your second dose. If you see me walking around without a mask and you're worried about your health, put yours on. Keep distance. Don't come near me. Trust me, I probably don't want to talk to you anyway, because I don't want to hear about your support for this insanity. And we'll all just get on our way. So I encourage everybody to do that moving forward. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. I don't really give a shit either way, okay? But let's stop giving each other hell over it. Let's get back to life, people. It's been a year. We are now on the year anniversary of the 2-week pandemic. Remember, it was only a year ago that we were going to curb this pandemic and kick it in its ass in just 2 weeks? Well, here we are a year later. The economy's still locked down. Joe Biden's handing out freaking more socialist crack money. He wants to get more shots in arms, even though a third of the country doesn't want it. And we continue to be locked down. Open the damn economy, Joe. Nobody cares about anything else. Thank you guys so much for joining me today here at You Made It Political. We stream live every day at 3 p.m. to Facebook and YouTube. You can also catch me on Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, and Spotify, where we call out the hypocrisy and keep the sneaky liberals in check. You guys have a great day.
Thanks for listening to You Made It Political with Matt Clark. Be sure to like, follow, or subscribe to the show, or leave us a review on iTunes. And if you like our show or want to know more, check out YouMadeItPolitical.com.